sound coming through.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
This is everybody, and I'm Latoya.
And we are the
Pursuit of Forever podcast.
On this podcast, we recognize that forever is an aspiration, but to achieve it, we all need to work to identify the steps we're taking daily.
On this platform, we will use our experiences in love, marriage, parenting, and much more to help you achieve long-lasting, meaningful relationships.
Disclaimer, we are not marriage counselors at the time, but we do aim to share our experiences, insights, and truth. These conversations are designed to help you to pursue long-lasting, fulfilling relationships.
We believe that happy, fulfilling marriages are possible if you're willing to do the necessary work. So let's get to it.
Listen, exciting news. Pursuit of Forever now has a community where we will be doing brand new engagement, brand new opportunities for growth and opportunities for building true long-lasting relationships through community. In that group, we will also be hosting monthly Zoom group sessions for couples. Our first sessions will be happening this month, so stay tuned for the date and for the topic.
Absolutely. In addition to that, we also have the Couples Retreat Challenge and the Couples Challenge Alerts, where we're going to work to strengthen relationships, and we're going to also have that details posted later on in the future in our page. So make sure you guys are following us and joining along.
And we are actually in the process of planning our very first Pursuit of Forever Couples Retreat in the Isle of Palm, South Carolina. Mm-hmm. More information is coming soon, and let us know if you guys are interested.
Absolutely. And of course, thank you guys so much for all your support. Make sure you continue to keep sending all your love, keep sending your questions and feedback, and continue to engage on all of our posts. We love engagement.
Yes. So right now we're going to do our social media growth check-in. We want to make sure that we are still, if you haven't already, make sure you're following the pod. Make sure you're checking us out in all the platforms. That's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah, tell a friend, bring a couple friends, share it with people that you know are going to benefit from this information.
For sure.
So right now we are at 1,527 followers.
All
so
right.
Instagram, 235, Facebook, 826, TikTok, 434, and YouTube, 32. So continue to keep, sharing our page with people who you think can benefit. Continue to keep sharing the posts and make sure that, all your friends are following us as well as you.
Yeah, man. Make sure you follow us. Make sure you lock in, because y'all already know the information, and you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So let's get right to it. We're going to start with this week's check-in. Toya, how was your week, babe?
So far my week has been okay. Just getting back into the groove of being in work and doing all the things and, just enjoying, spending time with my staff and also working with, clients and, just doing all the things that I didn't get to do while I was home recovering.
Yeah, man. Shoot. All right. Well, that's dope.
What about you? How's your week been so far?
It's been a good week. I've been working extremely hard. Mm-hmm. I was a little under the weather on Monday.
Yes.
So I didn't go to work. I didn't work on Monday, out, but I had my computer in my bed. So I'm just working. Like most people who work remotely do now. Mm-hmm. Instead of just working, you still work. You just work in your bed. Yeah. But I did rest. I did take some time off and make sure that I took care of my body. Mm-hmm. I also still on Operation Get Right. Day 142 went for a run today. We both went for a run today. Mm-hmm. Walk run intervals.
Yes.
And then we also and we've been watching Temptation Island.
We have
the newest season of Temptation Island.
That has been interesting.
And maybe we could talk a little bit about that when we get into our topics for today. But
okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
Let us know in the comments what you guys have been up to since the last time we potted.
For sure.
What's been your pits and your peaks so far of the week?
Oh yeah, where's your pits and peaks go?
My peak, I think, is that my Friday is coming up tomorrow. That's my peak. And then my pit, I think, is trying to get back into like the swing of getting up when I used to get up before,
Okay.
being home for 8 weeks on recovery. That's been a little bit of an adjustment because I'm now used to staying up all the time and watching TV and catching up on the latest, trash television. And so now I have to like readjust and get back to, back to life, back to reality.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So pits and peaks for me. My pit has been getting ready for this funeral. I guess that's probably been the hardest thing is, my cousin Tremaine passed away 2 weeks ago now. And of course, and so we've been, sort of dealing with that and trying to sort of cope. Shout out to the entire relationship gang. Shout out to Tiffany
guys.
specifically. We love you. And
anyone who's affected by
so dealing with that has
loss.
been a lot. But my peak has really been like knowing that I do what I love. And I got some pretty cool opportunities that are in front of me that I'm really excited about. So, so that's my pits and my peaks.
Awesome. Yeah. Love it.
All right. So let's get to our videos. Of course, you guys know we believe that social media is a tool, and like any other tool, you can use it for bad or you can use it for good. We try to highlight the good things that are happening on social media. So Toya has a video for us to watch, and we're going to comment on it. So I'm going to start bringing it up to the stage. And let's get right to it.
You just got to get up earlier. Yeah. That might mean you got to go to.
For some reason, we can't hear it. Hold on 1 second.
Sleep earlier, but you got to get up earlier, because if you got to get the kids out of the door by 8 to spend time with God and to work out and to meal prep, you got to be up by 6 at the very least. That's the challenge I think that people have. They are not doing the things the night before to be able to get up at 6 to be able to get all these things done.
This is why people don't do it. I hear this thought, oh, I ain't going to do all that. Like, that's too much. Yes, people do that. That's how successful people live their lives, long-term successful people. And so, yes, it is possible. Sometimes we don't do things and we think, well, that's impossible. I can't do all that. No, yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Millions of people do. People with 4 kids and 5 kids. You're single, you can do it. You have 1 child, you can do it. Yeah. Single moms can do it. Single dads can do it.
Well, you got to remove all of the excuses. I learned years ago, excuses is nothing but a crutch for the uncommitted. Yeah. And whenever we are not committed to do something, we'll come up with an excuse. Well, I can't because it is. And the truth is that you can do whatever you set yourself to do with the help of the Lord. Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Even if it's hard,
you can do it.
His grace is sufficient in hard things. If you want to master your morning, you just got to get up earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I like that. Yeah. So what were your thoughts on that one, Beck?
So I guess that's motivation for me, honestly, right now. I kind of shared a few minutes ago that that's kind of just been my struggle. Recently, just kind of rewinding myself back to where I was before the surgery, getting up and doing all the things, but also even more so, just thinking about like goals that I do have. And then, thinking about the fact that we do have 6 kids and we do a lot of things for other people, and that I found myself in the past doing a lot more for other people than I even was willing to do for myself. And then I would make excuses. And I do like that statement that he made that said, excuses are the crutch for the unmotivated. And I'm
uncommitted.
Like, uncommitted, not unmotivated. Either way. Consistency has been something that has been a struggle for me. So I definitely appreciate the idea that they broke it down, the kind of like, said, yeah, it's doable. It is doable. Obviously, I know it's doable because it's something I've done before, but I have to get myself back into the position to make that commitment and be willing to get up earlier. Sure. And that's something that I'm going to have to do in order to be able to achieve the level of what I want to do, especially if I'm going to be, someone that's going to work in the morning and having to do so many things for other people immediately upon waking up. So
I
what about that? What spoke to you in that one?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's absolutely right. When you look at everything that you have to do in a day, like I often ask myself, like, how do I find the time to do all the things that I do? And the only space that there is earlier. So you have to, like he said, if you're gonna really fit all these things in, at minimum, you should be waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And that means that you have to sort of discipline yourself to go to sleep earlier as well.
Right.
Which is also can be a hard part because you do want to spend time at night doing the silly stuff. You want to watch the trash television. You want to spend some other time. But that can But so you want to go to sleep. Make sure you get enough rest so you can get up in the morning and do the things you need to do. Very good video. I like it very much. And I love the way he tied in even the biblical sense of it. Philippians 4:19. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Stop making excuses and start making it happen. That's really what Operation Get Right's been for me. Is stop saying, okay, I can't go to the gym because I can't do this because I can't eat healthy because, and I had to start giving myself reasons why I could. So that's really been the focus for me.
Yeah, I think that was good. Definitely important, especially like I said, when you are able to make that commitment and do that for so many other people. Why shouldn't you be able to make it for yourself?
Yeah, gotta be able to show up for yourself.
That's kind of what I've being able to do, even if it's like, okay, well, I can only do 5 minutes. I can't do 30. 30 is what I would want to do. An hour, maybe what I want to do, but I can only get this, amount of time in, and forcing myself to do it. And a book that has helped me too, with the getting up early thing is the 5-second rule, by Brene Brown. That's been super helpful because of course it's kind of like within 5 seconds of you getting up, like you have to force yourself to do it within 5 seconds or your mind will automatically revert you back to not doing it, and all the reasons why you can't successfully complete whatever it is that you're trying to work out.
Okay.
So
word. All right, well, let us know what you guys think. If you're watching live or you're watching on replay, let us know what you guys think about the video, and if you have any videos that you think you'd like for us to check out or even show on the pod, please let us know. We'd be glad to share those things.
Absolutely.
All right. So this week we're going to do top threes of this week. What is your top 3 comfort foods?
Top 3 comfort foods. I would say this is not, I guess, necessarily a norm of comfort food, but for me, it's a comfort because it was my life on Fridays, being from the Low Country. So for me, seafood is a comfort food for me. Definitely heavy on whatever, the crabs, the oysters, shrimp, all the things, mussels, anything seafood related. Also, I think like pasta, because it's like something that's like very filling when you eat it. And then also probably soup, because that also like warms you up from the inside and things like that. Not any specific soup right now. I'm really loving the wonton soup because that's kind of like my jam.
Yeah, it is.
But I don't have a specific. What about you? What are your 3 comfort foods?
Comfort foods.
Your 3 favorite comfort foods.
Ice cream is one. I don't know if it's a comfort food, but I love steak.
Yeah.
I love steak so much. I had steak for lunch today.
Yeah.
I made myself a steak.
I noticed. I was confused when I saw it. I thought you were grilling for dinner.
No,
and then I was told that you grilled yourself.
Myself steak.
You grilled yourself lunch.
I did.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, that's a part of self-care,
And my third one would probably be carrot cake from McAllister's.
Specifically, carrot cake from McAllister's.
From McAllister's.
Have you had the carrot cake at Nothing Bundt Cakes?
I have. It's not as good as McAllister's.
Okay. So is McAllister's more like a homemade?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's my favorite. I love it so much.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, I love it so much.
So steak, carrot cake. And then what was
ice cream?
And ice cream.
Yeah.
Any particular ice doesn't matter.
Jenny's. Brambleberry.
Okay. Specifically Jenny's or just ice cream in general?
Ice cream in general.
Okay.
But I love Jenny's. Like if I'm just gonna eat random ice cream, I can eat random ice cream. But Jenny's is my jam. So.
Jenny's, if you're listening.
Jenny's, if y'all listening, y'all want to do a endorsement, do a sponsorship of Pursuit of Forever, we love your ice cream. I get Brambleberry.
And I love salted caramel.
So you get salted caramel.
All day.
So if you haven't tried Jenny's, make sure you try Jenny's. I wanted to do something else too.
Okay.
So I wanted to do a new segment.
All right.
I love new segments.
Yes.
What are you watching on?
What about
What you
watching
watching
on?
on?
What you watching on?
What you watching on?
I am
When
watching.
we get a soundboard, that's gonna be a song. What you watching on?
What you watching on? Right now I am catching up on 911. That's what I'm watching on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really behind on it, and my daughter started me on that. Ariana, if you're listening, I text her every time something crazy happens, and I'm like, Ariana, you didn't tell me this is. Oh my gosh, this is gonna happen. I get like really enthralled in like the characters on shows, and they just in my mind, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm watching that. Of course. In addition to that, what else am I watching? Gosh, I'm watching so many.
Temptation Island.
Yeah, I mean Temptation Island, but there was something else.
Severance.
No, the other one. Oh my gosh, I can't think of the show. The one that just ended. Paradise.
If you're not watching Paradise, you need to watch Paradise.
Oh my gosh. And I keep saying, oh my gosh, isn't it coming back on? Why y'all did that to me?
Yeah. So
why is it over?
It's not over.
Why is it over now?
This season's over.
Why is this season over?
Because they only started with 8 episodes. So
I have a problem with that.
It wasn't supposed to be a long show.
I know, but I still love it.
But the first
it has
season
been renewed.
Fire. It's been renewed for season 2. Sterling K. Williams said they're already in the process of working on season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested in seeing how they pick it up, because I did not love episode 8, the finale of the first season. But hopefully,
I love the show.
Right. They picked the worst killer out of all the people on the show. I didn't understand like the whole. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into it.
Just watch it. Watch Paradise.
Give us your thoughts.
So those are my 3 shows.
All right.
What about you? What are you watching on?
I'm watching on right now. So I've been really into documentaries. I've been just watching random documentaries. One I watched a documentary called Scams of the Century or something like that. That was on HBO.
Oh.
And it talks about these different scams that happened over the course of these last few years. There was one about this lady who was in Australia who pretended like she had cancer to make money. And it became a pretty elaborate scam because she ended up actually building an app that Apple actually purchased and was going to be on the Apple Watch.
Mm-hmm.
But they ended up finding out that she was lying. She ended up going on the run, which was weird. And
scheming and scamming.
So after watching the documentary, they actually made a Netflix TV show called Apple Cider Vinegar, which I watched, which was really good. Her name was Belle Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
I kept thinking she was saying Mel
Gibson. Yeah,
Belle Gibson. It's really dope. If you've seen the documentary, even if you haven't seen the documentary, it's still pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Temptation Island, which I do want to spend about 3 minutes on.
Okay.
If that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what's been your thoughts on Temptation Island? Because we're about finished with it.
So I'm kind of like in and out
Spoiler
of Temptation Island. I can't remember the names of these people, but I know their faces. This is one I'm like
2 couples I want to talk about.
Not highly vested in as much as I was on the previous seasons.
2 couples I want to talk about.
I don't know their names, but
Breon and Shantae.
Yes. And
Grant.
Yes, Grant
and Ash.
Oh.
Yes, we got to
right,
talk
so
about
who we going on first? Spoiler alert, if you guys have not watched it. We're talking about Temptation Island.
One, I want to start with Grant and Ash first.
Okay.
Because like Breon was the black people and I want to talk with the black people.
Breon is.
So Grant and Ash. So if you don't know, Temptation Island is a show where they have 4 couples. They come to the island.
Mm-hmm.
They are in a crossroads in their relationship. They don't know if they want to move forward and get married.
It's one of them. It's one person who is unsure.
No, both of them are unsure.
No, it's one person that's unsure. So it's usually a person who's like, I would like to be married.
Yeah.
Or I would like for you to make a commitment to me. And a person who's like, I'm not sure if I would like to make a commitment with you.
The ultimatum's like that. Temptation Island, both people, they're like at a crossroads.
Okay.
They're not sure if they want to be in the relationship. Both people are.
Okay.
So they go to the island, and on the island, the premise is that they are they don't know if they want to be together. They go to the island. They're separated into one island for the men, one island for the women.
Mm-hmm.
The men start out with 12 women that are trying to make them tempted. And make them
trying to tempt them,
and then the women have 12 guys that are trying to tempt them into
leaving their relationship and moving on.
This is about season 8. I want to say that because it started out on Fox, and then it was on USA, and now it's on Netflix. As you know, as you can probably tell, I've watched a lot of the seasons because like reality television is my guilty pleasure. Like I turn my brain off by watching it. Anyway, so now we have this couple, Grant and Ashley. They're two wonderful people, who are on this island. They're not sure if they want to be together. She's dealt with infidelity in his past, so she's not sure if he's mature enough to continue the relationship. He feels like she doesn't really appreciate him,
right?
And so now they're on the island, and they have these bonfires, right? And in the bonfires, they get to watch a video of a clip of the person on the other island and what they're doing. So they always clip it up really nasty. So,
of the person that they're with.
Right. So
on the other island.
So the first bonfire, the lady, the Grant is watching his girlfriend talking to this group of guys, and she's saying that he has bee-like tendencies. And when I say bee, I don't mean Bumble. He has bee-like tendencies. And he's like, hold up, I'm over here trying to be a good dude and not, do nothing wrong. And this woman is on television and talking to these dudes, calling me a bee, and I don't mean a bumblebee, right? So he's what do you need? That's fine. Go ahead. You up by 9? So she says that, and he's like, oh, okay, cool. So now he goes back to the cabin where the girls are, and he decides it's party time.
It's on.
It's on.
Because she's having conversations with other men about him having bee-like tendencies.
Right. Now, he cheated on the girl at that time. He decided then, okay.
It was done. He was done.
He was going to cheat because he actually already started, like, there's a young lady in the cabin that he already started building a relationship with, but he just was like, I can't do nothing crazy because I got my girl loves me. But then he was like, nah, forget it. We're gonna get to it.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts? I'm gonna pause right there. What were your thoughts about that?
What part?
About the whole thing.
Okay. So I think equally both of them are wrong. I think in her scenario, she may have taken the conversation like, oh, when you guys are separated in these, different islands, the guys over here and the girls over here, and you've got your 12 guys, for the group of girls that are here, the 4 girls that are here, and the group of, 12 ladies for the guys, that you guys are separated. You're not together. So I feel like she kind of took that to heart in the scenario and maybe wasn't necessarily looking for love in other places, but kind of was just trying to like search and figure out what the problems they were having were. And I don't think she should have had the conversation, even if that's how she felt. And she did circle back around and say, I told you this already to your face.
Yeah, she told him, she literally said, we had this conversation. There's nothing I said to them that I haven't said to your face.
And I was like,
which is not a good response. It's not a good response.
Absolutely bananas. But I do think she could have dealt with that in a better way. I don't think that was a conversation she should have brought to them, even if that's how she felt.
And it's not a justification.
Yeah, it isn't a justification for him to do. It's not a justification for him to do what he did. I feel like she said, he had already had in his mind that he was going to step out and sleep with the person that he slept with from the moment he saw the person.
You think so?
I do.
I don't.
I do. And I do think that he believed her saying, oh, that chick that's your type was her co-signing. That's how he took it. That was her co-signing. Oh yeah, that is my type. Because that is the same exact where he was like, oh yeah, that is my type. She knows my type, and that is literally the person. And then when they had the conversation back towards the end, he did say that he did find her attractive at that moment.
Yeah.
So
the funny thing?
What?
So she was the one that made the comment.
Yes.
It was her.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? Her guilty pleasure is?
No, it's not.
It was her. I looked it up.
No, I thought it was.
It was Natalie. Lady. Her name was Natalie. It was her.
Yeah.
So when y'all go back and watch, you will see the comment that she made about her guilty pleasure. Jesus. And okay. I'll just leave that there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What did you think about the two?
So, okay. So I'm not going to say that he was right for cheating. I will never say that. I think that, there's no justification for cheating. I think if you're going to cheat, you should just walk away. But if you're on a reality show that is built on these things, that's sort of what's going to happen.
Right.
But I can definitely understand him feeling like she is emasculating me on this television show, and you know what? All bets are off. And I definitely like. Do I think that like because even I think was he the one that in fact that the girl that came by the room earlier?
Yes, it was her.
And like,
but she
he was
intentionally.
but he said like, nah, I'm not. I'm not doing like I'm cool. I'm not doing nothing like that. Like I'm just I'm
trying to hold it down.
Yeah, but I didn't. But I don't think he was gonna do nothing. Like at least I don't think he was gonna do it to the extent that he did.
I don't think he was gonna do anything at that point in time.
Yeah.
At that point in time, definitely think he was gonna do it. Definitely think he was gonna do it.
But yeah, I don't think that justifies him doing it. But I think that
in his mind,
I think that was an indicator of things that she had done in the past.
I think it was an indicator to him that the issues that he had with her, as far as the emasculation and all of that, was something that was not going to change. And I believe that he believed, oh, okay, we're supposed to be here working on our relationship and working on each other and working on the problems that we have.
Right.
And granted, you emasculating me is not a problem I have that I'm doing to myself. It's a problem that you're doing to me.
Right.
So you need to be working on that. Yeah. You need to be working on that. And so when he saw it, he was like, oh, she has no intention of fixing this problem.
Right.
And so
and at the end, she still did it.
And she said she was going to continue not doing it.
Right.
I mean, continue doing it.
I think that was the major issue within their relationship, is that he felt emasculated by her and he did not know how to deal with it.
Right.
Which is why even when he said, he's like, I have to let it go. He's like, the thing I have to let go is her.
Yeah.
So even though he was wrong for cheating. Like I said, there's no justification for cheating. But I get it.
Yeah.
I definitely get feeling like, oh, you're treating me like this. This young lady over here is showing me attention. She's being nice to me. She's not talking down to me. She's not trying to emasculate me. That's attractive.
Right. I also, too, would even go as far as saying, I get the people who cheat. Because if you're bringing me into this situation, you're already saying, I don't really care about what we have in my mind, because you already know what the show is. I'm saying you already know what the show is. Right. You already know what time these people are on, and you're putting yourself in situations. If you already know the person you're with, and that's been in this scenario with the people that have been on here, most of the time, there's always one or a couple of them who have already cheated on the person they're with. So if your person has a problem with cheating,
there's not been anybody that came on the show and cheated that wasn't already a cheater.
Right. So if your person has a problem with cheating on you, why would you bring them into a situation where they're going to have access to cheat on you with 12 people?
Yeah, other 12, you're going to find somebody worth cheating on.
Yeah, and some of them have found multiple people. So again,
which gets us to Breon. Which gets us to Breon. All right. So,
oh my gosh.
So Breon, black guy. So Breon and Shantae, black
Lord
couple.
Have mercy, Breon and Shantae.
You always have. I don't know about you, but me, I'm always rooting for the black couples. I was not rooting for Breon and Shantae.
No,
I was not rooting for Breon and Shantae.
No.
So Breon comes to the island. And his thing is, my girlfriend's perfect, but she ain't freaky enough for me.
Right. And then he caused me a lot of questions in the process of the show.
From the very beginning.
Yes. She's not.
I don't know what else she thought was going to happen by coming on the show.
This is what I'm saying about everyone who comes on it. What do you think is going to happen? I got a problem with you before we get here.
Yeah.
I got a problem with cheating before we get here.
Yeah.
You think I'm not going to tell these people about the problems I have with you? You think I'm not going to cheat on you? You think I'm not going to cheat on you if I've cheated on you before?
So Breon comes to the island.
Lord.
Him and Shantae. Shantae is very
naive.
I want to say manipulated. I want to say gullible. I want to say she really does love. It looks like she really wants to have a true love,
but she doesn't recognize what love is.
And it seems like, and I don't know if they said this, but it seems like it's very possible that he's the only boyfriend that she's ever had or something like that.
Yeah,
it gives a lot of that.
Yeah, it gives a lot of that for sure.
But
like the first boyfriend that she's had,
right?
And she doesn't want to. She will take anything he does to her, and
yeah. But after researching a little bit, they actually had talked about like the fact that they had been dating previously. They broke up because he went to seek the freaky girl that he said he wanted. And then he realized that's not what he wanted. And he came back.
Okay.
So they get to the island.
I'm really confused though.
Breonna's walking around. What's up?
So Were you not also confused while we were watching this? Spoiler alert. If you guys have not heard, we're talking about
this season is
Temptation
crazy.
Island.
It's crazy.
So were you not also confused when he kept saying, I'm into having threesomes. I want to have threesomes.
Yeah,
this is what I am a
yes.
threesome guy.
Yeah, that's what he kept saying.
She's, I'm with her. She's, she's a great girl, but she's not into having threesomes.
Yeah.
So were you not confused at the fact that he was having threesomes or not having threesomes? Like, I was confused because I was confused as we were watching it. Like, did he have threesomes before? Is this the first? Is this the first threesome
like
he's having on the show?
Threesomes all the time.
Yes,
like it was his entire bag. So then he gets in the island. He finds two girls because the whole time he's trying to find two girls to have threesomes with. That was his entire conversation.
Every conversation.
I really like threesomes.
I'm really into threesomes, guys. I'm taking applications.
I'm into threesomes, and like
my girlfriend's not into threesomes. She's a great person, but
she's an amazing.
She's really not into threesomes, and I really need that in my life.
So he finds two girls. They have a threesome, and now he's like, "Oh, now that I've experienced a threesome, I realize that that's not what I needed." Hold up. You made it seem like you were Mr. Threesome the entire show.
That's what I was confused about. That's what I was confused by. So were we as America watching the first threesome he had, or had he had previous threesomes before, or he had attempted to have them before and it just never worked out?
Seemed like he had mad threesomes,
but I think he didn't.
But he said it.
I think he said it. He led with it.
Then he was like, now that I've had it, I realize that that's not what I need.
I don't need that in my life.
Which is crazy.
I don't need that to be happy. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But he led with that in his whole relationship with the girl.
Right. So now he had the threesome with the two girls. Ironically, after he has a threesome with the two girls, he really wants nothing to do with either of the girls that he has a threesome with after.
He wants to vote them off the show.
He's trying to vote them off the show, and he's working on his relationship because he's so in love. I was disgusted by this black man.
Yeah.
Sir, as a black man, as a proud Air Force dad, why would you go on TV and do that?
You're embarrassing yourself. You played yourself.
That was the dumbest thing. But wait, there's more. Because after that, now he's in, I just want to save my relationship because I love my girl so much because she's so perfect.
She's going to forgive me.
She's going to forgive me because she knows that my heart's in the right place. And now that I've had my threesome,
she's never going to have to worry about that again.
She's never going to have to worry about that ever again.
And they're like, so you think you're done with threesomes? You think you're done? You're not going to want to do it again?
Never wants another threesome ever again.
Never again.
After all the threesomes that he's had and spending the entire show talking how much he wanted a threesome, got a threesome, and now he's over the threesomes for the rest of his life. So, okay, cool. So, get to the end of the show. The last episode, what they have to do is they have to decide whether they want to stay together or separate. And this chick, Shantae.
Spoiler alert, guys.
In the words of Tyra Banks, I was rooting for you.
Not me. I knew she was going to do that.
I was rooting for you. We all were rooting for you.
No.
And you have the audacity, the unmitigated gall to take that man back.
She was like, I'm going to leave the island. I'm going to leave the island with him. I choose to leave the island with him. He was like, yes!
And she looked so sad.
She was so excited. Yeah, she was
she
disassociated completely.
And they're like, are you happy?
Bonfire.
And she's like, yes, I'm happy.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing.
She totally disassociated on that bonfire.
Temptation Island, season 8.
Guilty
Hopefully,
pleasure.
There's a reunion episode.
I hope. Is there
not
not one?
I gotta see where they're at now.
So there's not one.
There usually isn't. But I heard they're gonna.
What's
because
the show that has
now, Love Is Blind.
Oh, they need to do that because I need to know what's going on.
We need an update on where Breon and
I don't need an update because I know where he's at. He is searching for his threesome somewhere in the streets.
Breon and Shantae, where are they?
I would be surprised if they're still together.
I need to know.
I need to know.
I need to know. Again, that's my guilty pleasure.
That's their thing.
Check it out. Let us know what you think. I know we just gave away the whole show, but
it's okay. We did say spoiler alert, and thank you guys if you're watching it back on the rewind. Let us know. Hysterical. Let us know your thoughts and even maybe your favorite season or couple or
Or what's your favorite reality show?
Yeah,
What are
reality
you
show.
watching? What's your favorite reality show to watch?
Mhm.
Give us some recommendations.
For sure.
I'm not watching Baddies or anything on Tubi. Just want to put that out there. Or Zeus.
But you're more
Don't
than
recommend
willing to
anything
go
on-
ahead and comment whatever it is that
Yeah,
you're
whatever
watching.
you're watching.
And then other people can maybe, get some new
For
guilty
sure.
pleasures online and
For
watch
sure.
those.
All right. So that was our what you're watching on
What you
segment.
watching on?
I think we should keep that. I like what you're watching on.
Oh,
We just gotta shorten it. It's a little long.
what you watching?
But Pursuit of Forever playlist, date night playlist.
Mhm.
Make sure you guys are checking it out. These are songs we've compiled over 19 years of soon to be 20 years of being together, dating, and 18 years in May married.
Absolutely.
So what is your song of the day? Why do you love it, and why is it great for date night?
Jasmine Sullivan, Let It Burn.
Why is it great?
I just love it. Just love the song.
All right.
Let It Burn.
Mine
What's yours?
is That's You, Lucky Day.
Okay.
Bruno Mars wrote it. So
Oh.
it's a Bruno Mars song.
Okay.
I like it a lot. I love Bruno Mars's writing and production, and it sets a good vibe for the night. And it's just talking about how a woman can be everything that you want in life and everything that you need, and that's absolutely you. So, yeah. All right.
Thank you.
So today's topic of the day, y'all know that we start out with we went through our stuff, and now we're going to get to our topic of the day. And we want you guys to let us know sort of what your thoughts are about what we've talked about so far. If anything you want to share, make sure you're sharing out, letting friends know that we are live.
We are live,
and they can check out the podcast both in video and in audio.
Absolutely.
Everywhere you can find podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook. Join the community. Yada yada yada. All right, topic of the day. So our topic of the day is when life throws you curveballs, managing crisis together. So we're going to start with a few questions. So Toya, what's the most unexpected challenge that you have faced?
The most unexpected challenge,
or one that we face together. It could be anything.
Is the most unexpected challenge that we have faced together. And for me, I would say to date, it would be the loss of my father. I think, I don't know. It's just death is a interesting thing. And it can really take you to places that you didn't imagine you ever could go to. Yeah. And, I definitely credit, my relationship with the Lord, in getting me through that. And then also him bringing me you and people, in my circle to help me be able to push through those tough times. I definitely think, it has a way of either, tearing you down and then also building you up when you're dealing with grief and things like that. Yeah. And so you need strong people in your corner, especially in those moments when you're not able to be strong for yourself. Yeah. So that for me has been one of my most unexpected challenges. Even though it was a challenge that I guess was semi-expected in my, my dad's situation. I would also, say, just like I've said before to many other people, even if it is something that you are in the process of trying to prepare for, death is not something that you ever can prepare for, no matter how much you try. Super no matter, what you do or, the steps you take, it's not something that you ever, can really prepare for. Yeah. So that's me. What about you?
Yeah. So, I mean, just thinking about, challenges. Wow. I would probably say grandma. That was a really tough one to deal with. So y'all don't know this, but my grandma went in for stomach surgery. And not like a plastic surgery, like she had some kind of minor situation. Yeah. And she went into the hospital. I talked to her the night before it. We all did. It was like, hey, grandma, I'll see you tomorrow. And something went bad. And then she never woke back up. Not like herself. And she ended up passing away like a week later. Not many days later.
Yeah. From
After
complications.
that, from
Yeah.
complications of it. And that was definitely a curveball.
Yeah.
My grandma was one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And I miss her dearly.
Same.
And so, like everything else we faced, we dealt with it together. And I think that's our typical response, is to sort of come together and be. I think that's one of the best things about our relationship.
Yeah.
Is that like situations don't ever seem like they are hard, but they don't seem unbearable,
right?
Because I have you. So yeah, for sure. What do you think the biggest test of our relationship, of a relationship, is during times of crisis?
Honestly, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with that. I think the biggest test is like the togetherness and remembering that you're a team in that. I think a lot of times when you're going through crises and situations, it could be easy to feel like you're the only person that's going through it, or it's something that I'm going through and it's not something that you're going through, or it's a problem that I have, not a problem that you have. But when you're in a relationship, you are a team.
Yeah.
You both work together. When I, like the Lord, whenever you're weak, I am strong. Like I should be able to help you be there, and pick up the pieces, or, rub your back and tell you everything's going to be okay. Tell you that, this might be something that's hard right now, or something that we're going through, but we can get through it together. And honestly, just to even go back, like the situation, and I've said this before, to my friends, in scenarios who are dealing with grief and situations, I always feel like the things that we go through in life are not solely for us. In my life experience has shaped me in a way to where I'm able to help other people. And I feel like when we go through certain things, not sharing those things make it hard for other people to see that they could make it out on the other side. So I definitely think for me, that's the major thing.
Yeah. I think,
what do you think?
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think the biggest test is to come together as opposed to growing apart.
Right. And it's hard.
It's really hard, because you can start, because like if you haven't created a space in your heart for the person that you love to be able to comfort you,
right,
it's impossible to do it when that time happens. You sort of got to build that before that time comes, so that when I feel I won't run away from you because I'm afraid to show you this thing that I've never shown you before.
Or it's not that it's something I've never shown you before.
Yeah, no, like
you know what I mean?
We've both been pretty vulnerable over the course of our relationship, and that's allowed, when we go through the hard stuff, for us to come together. And like your dad, I can coach you through it, I can love you through it, I can be the things to you that you need me to be at that time, because I know you so well,
right?
And I think that's a key part. So I think just that, resisting that urge to go inside yourself,
right?
And as opposed to going within the relationship to make sure that you are allowing the person that you're with to be that thing for you that you need.
So I would even add on to that too. So like when you were talking about going inside of yourself and saying, okay, well, I am going to fix this and figure this out on my own. I think another problem that people have is going outside of the relationship.
Yeah.
Going on Facebook or going to other people and having these conversations. Yeah. Instead of going to your person who's supposed to be your safe space, the person who is supposed to support you, the person who you're like, yeah, you're, my ride or die, I'm gonna rock with you. And this is my husband, this is my fiance, this is my boyfriend, or whatever it might be. Or my life partner, if that's not, if you guys are deciding that you don't want to get married or whatever it might be, to cut them out of that and then involve other people in the scenario and not give them the opportunity to actually be there for you.
Yeah.
That's another problem that people have.
No, I agree totally. That's what well said, because that can be seen in such a nasty way if your partner, if that's not y'all's understanding of what your relationship is.
Right.
And you have a potential to create a bond with somebody else. Like if you have a problem with your partner, and this is not even death related,
Right.
if you have an issue with your partner and you go and you talk to somebody, maybe like your friend that you have in your inbox that you're just having, male or female, and y'all just having these conversations about what's going on in your relationship. It can create a situation where you're building a bond with that other person, because now you're opening up to that person, you're being vulnerable with that person, and that's something that you should be only giving to your spouse. And too often we're willing to do that. We're willing to get on that Facebook Live and talk to the whole world, and we want to post and we want to smile and we want to just cry or whatever on Facebook. Where the person we have right next to us, we don't say anything to.
Yeah.
So that when you talk about that life throwing you a curveball and not going like inside yourself, but either going outside to somebody else or going inside to your partner in your relationship, I think that's a really key point. You nailed that. Great point, Dad. All right. So, what are some lessons that? So I guess we sort of talked about what the lessons that we learned were. To not go.
Yeah. Not go outside.
And not to go inside, but to go to go to each other.
Yeah.
And use each
first.
other as that source of support, that source of connection.
Trusting.
Yes, that source of trust for sure. All right, so we have some helpful tips for you guys. And if first of all, say hello.
Yeah,
some of y'all have been watching this for a while. Y'all ain't said hi or nothing.
We can't see you guys.
Say what's happening. But we want to give you guys some tips for managing crisis in your relationship. I want to give you guys some resources that you can use. Of course, if you have something to add to it, please do. And if you're watching at home, hey Tweety, see, there you go. What up, Tweety? And if you're watching at home, make sure that you guys are writing down these notes, because these are things, again, we like to give you our experiential stuff. We also want to say what the research says surrounding these issues. So today we're talking about managing crisis within your relationship. The crisis that we've sort of focused on was death within the family. For the most part, but that can really apply to anything as it pertains to raising kids. It can be to
losing a job,
dealing with infidelity,
sickness,
illness, like all of these things. So these are all things that you can do in times of crisis in your relationship. All right. 1, stay calm and assess the situation. All right. Why is it helpful? Emotions can take over in moments of crisis, leading to rash decisions or unnecessary conflict. Taking a step back to assess the situation logically helps couples to navigate the problem without letting emotions dictate their reactions. And that's according to Dr. John Gottman. According to Dr. John Gottman, couples who take time and pause and process before responding tend to have stronger problem-solving skills and healthier relationships. Toya, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think it's really helpful to not like fly off the handle if you're a person who sometimes automatically sees like the glass half empty, and is maybe not the most positive person in the relationship all the time. It's easier to go with what's easy for you,
right?
And so I think if you take time and like literally, like it says, assess the situation and remain calm, you give the person who may actually be going through whatever it might be time to feel comfortable to express that to you, and knowing that you're not going to turn the situation and make it about yourself.
Yeah. Assess the situation. Look around. All right. Stay calm. Don't fly off the handle. One, it may not be what you think it is.
Yeah.
So stay calm. The crisis may not be the crisis at the magnitude you think it is, and your reaction could actually make it worse.
Yeah.
So just stay as calm as you possibly can. All right. So that's really good. You want to do part 2?
Yeah. Number 2, communicate honestly and openly. Why is it helpful? Unspoken feelings can lead to resentment or misunderstanding. So express emotions, fears, and needs clearly, and doing so ensures both partners understand each other's perspectives and they can work together towards a solution. Research shows that couples who communicate openly during stressful situations are more likely to maintain intimacy and trust. Tell me, what does that say to you?
All right, let me finish typing this and then I got you.
Okay.
So communicate honestly and openly. This goes back to the lesson that we did last week about that's 2 weeks ago, about active listening. You have to make sure that, one, you're seeking first to understand, then to be understood, right? And when you don't allow your partner, I'm gonna put this up there. When you don't allow your partner to know what you're feeling, and you don't communicate it effectively, it's really hard for y'all to come together. Like, there's times where we're having a discussion and like we'll realize we're not talking about the same thing. Like I'll stop us and say, hey, babe, okay, where's the disagreement start? And then we have to go back and define terms.
Right.
Then once we have a clearly defined like term of what we're talking about, we normally find resolution a lot quicker than just arguing them like two different points. We're like, because in what you're talking about, you're probably right because you're probably talking about something from the standpoint that you're viewing it from. I'm probably right from the standpoint that I'm viewing it from. But once we say, okay, cool. Oh, the thing that we're actually talking about is this. Now we have a place that we can talk from where we're talking from a unified standpoint and we're talking about the same thing.
Right.
So now even if we're debating something, we're debating this one thing as opposed to all of these things. So being able to communicate openly and honestly without feeling like the words you're going to use will be used against you later on in an argument or be used as a battering ram to hurt you with, like you have a better opportunity to manage the crisis that you're dealing with at the time. And I do see that Tweety added, sorry, Vera, I don't even know if you go by Tweety anymore. I would also add it's not the what, but the why when you're talking about the situation. Absolutely. Yes. Sometimes it's not the what's been done. It's the why was it done, right? The what, it happened, y'all.
Right.
Whatever it is, it happened, right? The why, let's get to the why. Why did it happen? Or why does it affect you this way? Because maybe the what happened wasn't that big of a deal. But why they did it or why you reacted that way may be a big deal to them.
Right.
So great addition. But I like that one. All right, number three. Number three. Work as a team, not opponents. Work as a team, not opponents. It's easy to place blame when things go wrong, but a crisis should bring you closer, not push you apart. Viewing challenges as a shared problem fosters unity and prevents finger pointing. Studies suggest that couples who use we language rather than I and you when discussing issues have a stronger sense of partnership. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so I definitely think, we touched on this a little bit before, in our discussion. It's important to remember, like in all of these scenarios, that you are a team.
Yeah.
And I think it can be easy, as we said before, for the person who is going through the thing or, is dealing with the curveball head on, can feel like they're the only person that's going through it. Yeah. They can feel like, this is an issue that they have and nobody else has. But when you're in a relationship, you should be able to feel comfortable enough to talk to your partner and say, this is something that I'm dealing with. And allow them the opportunity to see if that is something that they can help you work through versus just taking it all on your own and then being like, there's, nobody can help me with it. I'll figure it out on my own.
Yeah, no, because okay.
Because we're working together.
If we're on the same team.
On opposite teams.
Then a win for me is a win for us.
Yeah.
It's not, it's me against her. And too many times we want to win the argument. That comes back to, again, effective communication. Yeah. Like a lot of this stuff, like if you just go back and look at our previous episodes when we talk about communication, like we go into this. The goal is not to win this conversation. There are no winners. The winner should be us.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're in a crisis, right? Realize that the crisis affects both of you. And that crisis, and again, whether it's death, if it's death and you're sitting there arguing about, who it hurts more. Yeah. Well, I'm more hurt by it. I'm more hurt by it because da-da-da-da-da. And then she's like, I'm more hurt by it. Da-da-da-da. No, we're both hurt. We're both feeling this. If it's a situation where there's a misunderstanding, there's a crisis, there's an injury. Well, I'm going through it. I'm physically hurting and I'm really and he's like, well, I'm also hurting, not physically, but maybe I'm hurting emotionally. Maybe I'm hurting spiritually. Maybe I'm hurting sexually. Maybe there's a different way that I'm hurting because you're hurting the way that you are.
Right.
And my hurt isn't any worse than your hurt.
Right.
We're both hurting. How do we come to some kind of understanding so we can move forward as a team, as a tandem, and win together?
Right.
So that's really key when you're talking about managing crisis. It's really, really good. All right.
Number four. Seek external support when needed. Why this is helpful. Sometimes couples get stuck in their own perspective and need outside guidance, whether from a trusted family, a friend, or a professional counselor. Seeking help doesn't mean failure, it means you're committed to finding a solution. According to the American Psychological Association, couples who seek counseling during times of crisis improve communication and problem solving skills significantly. Thoughts?
Yeah. My thoughts are that, like, this is why I want to get into relationship counseling and relationship coaching, is because, like, there needs to be people outside of the relationship that when you get to that place, like, it's good to have that additional resource that you trust that'll say, hey, all right, I'm not tied into this thing at all. I'm the outsider looking in, and based on what I've seen, these are some things that I'd suggest, or can just moderate the conversation so y'all can have it together. Give you some tools that you can use, right, to manage the conflict better. And so many times, if people would just do that, remove their ego, because especially in the Black community, we'll say, well, I don't want nobody in our relationship. Them people don't know you.
Yeah.
They're not going around like they have literally they have a legal requirement to keep your business in-house, except for like certain things. Like if you're saying they're going to go out and kill somebody or something like that, they got to say that.
Yeah, they have a duty to report.
Them coming into you going to them is a net benefit for your relationship. Don't look at that as this affront to your manhood or to your womanhood that a third person going to come in and help moderate the conversation so you can have a long-lasting relationship. Again, do you want to win because you want to be so right and righteous to yourself, or do you want a long-term marriage?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Number 5.
Number 5, prioritize the relationship even in stressful times. Why it helps. Stressful situations often pull couples apart as they focus on survival rather than connection. However, setting aside intentional time to check in with each other, even in small ways like a 10-minute conversation or a hug, strengthens emotional bonds and reminds you that you're in it together. A relationship expert, Dr. Sue Johnson, emphasizes that maintaining emotional intimacy during stress leads to greater resilience and long-term relationship satisfaction.
So this can be a hard one because we have discussed that in some scenarios, most of the time in stressful situations, it's easier to go inward. It's easier to just internalize whatever it might be and feel like, okay, I can do this on my own. I can, fix this problem, or I can work through this on my own because I've been here before, in this scenario, or I have, dealt with other situations that might be similar to this. And in doing so, I was able to come out on the other side.
Yeah.
And so I don't necessarily need to bring in, my significant other on this on this part.
Yeah.
But there are some times when you do, you know what I mean? Like you need that support, and you may think you could be, you could go through this and fix it this time, or, work through it this time. And there may be times in that whole process that you might not.
Right.
And so you have to be able to give the other person the opportunity to do that and to be there for you in those situations, because they may be able to see what you can't see in that. They may be able to see that, hey, maybe, we do need to go to a counselor. Maybe this is above my pay grade.
Yeah.
I can't help you with this, but I'm willing to work with you, so that we can work together to get you in a better place.
Yeah.
If I can't help you,
Yeah.
I think the problem is,
even in that language, like, not to get you in a better place, to get us
Yeah.
in a better place. Because the goal, again, if you're prioritizing a relationship,
Right.
you're not saying that I'm in a bad place.
Or
If
you
I'm
have
in
a problem.
If I'm in a bad place, if I have a problem, we have a problem.
Right. We have a problem.
If I'm in a bad place, we're in a bad place.
Right.
If I'm hurt, we're hurt. So if I recognize that and I'm prioritizing a relationship, I want to make sure that I'm bringing everything back to center.
Right.
I'm bringing everything back to, okay, how do we get out of this situation together? How do we manage this together? I don't want to sacrifice you for me to survive.
That's right.
I shouldn't have to sacrifice you or the relationship for me to survive. If I have to do that, we have a much larger issue. So yeah, I think, prioritizing relationship, even in stressful times, just being mindful. We talked, about specific situations that these things will come up in that we've been able to use each of these tools.
Right.
And I think we're a better couple now than we were when we first got together, because we've had these tools and we learned these tools. And even as we talk through these tools,
right.
Sort of trying to navigate that and just try to put it into practice. Yeah. So
Awesome tips.
Book recommendation. So the book recommendation we have for this week is The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Works by Dr. John Gottman. We use some of his quotes. It's helpful because the book provides research-backed strategies for navigating tough times, helping couples build stronger foundations, improve communication. And we will be doing a book club within the Pursuit of Forever community as well. I can't remember the name of the actual group right now, so I'm gonna look that up.
Yes, but we will post the link for this book if you guys are interested in purchasing it for yourselves, or maybe your couples groups that you have. We also obviously suggest that you join into the Pursuit of Forever page, and then you can get the opportunity to be able to join us in our book club discussions and be able to delve in a little bit deeper to the books that we choose and discuss and share on the podcast.
Yes, sir. And I love that name, Charvis Healthy Journey Wood. My guy, get right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Again, if you haven't already joined, it's called the Pursuit of Forever, the community. We do truly want to build out this isn't something we do for clicks and likes. This isn't something we're doing to make money.
Right.
This is something we do because we genuinely love. We genuinely want to see people in marriages. We want to see single people
happy marriages.
Happy, fulfilling marriages. We want to see single people who desire marriage, because not everybody desires marriage.
Right.
People who desire marriage to find the marriages that they want of their dreams. And some of us, I know there are some people out there, I'm sure, that are in marriage, and you may be at the crossroads and saying to yourself, I don't know if this is worth saving. I don't know if what we've been through, we can come back from. But I've seen people come back from really tough times and build, just doing the work, just taking the time, making the investment, using these tips that we talk about week after week, researching the stuff that we talk about, reading the books, doing the practices, using apps like Paired, having the discussions, surrounding yourself with positive relationships,
doing the work,
doing that work. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. So, if you're out there and that's something that appeals to you, please, being intentional. Love that, Travis. Being intentional, right? Please tap into the community, stay connected, follow, like, and share Pursuit of Forever, because that's what we do this for.
Yeah, make sure you share the community as well. Like, don't just join it and then hog it and keep it to yourself. Share it with other people that you think could benefit from it as well, because we all want to grow together. And we all want to, be able to discuss and have our, community dialogue and communications and things like that, but also spread the love towards other people as well. We're open to, growing the community.
Yep. And so we actually asked a question this week. We have a question this week. It is anonymous. So the question is about answering emails. That's not the question. All right. So, we had a question last week.
Yes.
So the question was,
from how do you handle people from the past?
People keep bringing up things from the past.
No, a situation from the past reemerging or something like that, I believe.
Let me find a question. Keep talking. I got you.
Yes.
Give them more information.
But definitely, if you guys also have questions or want to submit, anyone wants to submit like a question in our Q&A segment, feel free to DM us. It's always going to be anonymous. We will answer those questions. We'll pick a question every time we have a show to go over and kind of share, the question and the answer with the group. So we've definitely also talked about, our different apps and different opportunities for engagement on the page. We appreciate you guys and attentions that you have sent forward already to share the page with other people, the likes and the comments that you have given us as well. And, definitely following us online and sharing our page with other people who are interested. I think if I remember correctly, I believe that it was
Jack.
It was a person from the past in the scenario. How do you deal with previous situations reemerging in your now relationship?
This is bothering me.
It's okay. You don't need to go and find it. I believe that's what it is. I'm pretty sure that's what the question was.
Oh, there we go. Okay. It says, what do you do if a situation from the past arises and you want to dead it in a healthy way? That was the question.
Yeah, that's pretty much
All
it.
right. So what do you think?
A situation from the past arises, and you want to dead it in a healthy way.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is the person who's in the receiving end of the past. Okay, so in that scenario, for me, I would probably just ignore it. Like
That's how you would dead it?
I wouldn't entertain it. Like I feel like I'm not going to give life to a situation, if that makes sense, because it seems like, and based off the question, it seems like this is a person in the past who kind of takes you to a place that you don't want to be,
Okay.
or is interested in entertaining things that you may not want to entertain in your current situation. And so for me, I would just not give it life. I would just not entertain it.
So I read the question two ways.
Okay.
So I read the question either A, there was a situation from the past, like somebody that they may have engaged with in the past
Previously.
and that person's popped up and is trying to
contact them or whatever it may be.
And
maybe they're not
and
taking
maybe their spouses
it for an answer.
Right.
Their no for an answer.
Right. And you're trying to say, hey, you shouldn't be talking to that person. That's the one thing. Or
how do they
something
say
happened in the past and it keeps getting brought up. And they're saying, I don't want to talk about that no more.
Y'all tell us in the comments what you think is saying.
So for me, I'll answer both of them. All right. So one, if it's if my spouse, if you were talking to a person from your past that I don't want you talking to,
right,
I would use effective communication. I would go back to my active listening skills and my effective communication skills, and I would state the thing clearly and without confusion. I would say, hey,
I don't like when
I don't
you do this.
I don't like your relationship with this person. I don't think you should be talking to this person. And I would hear from you what your thoughts were, but I would be without a doubt, make it very clear to you that this is not acceptable to me.
Right. And I think that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also would say if it is a situation where it's the opposite and it's you making it clear to the person, you need to be completely clear to the person. That's not something you're interested in.
Right. Yeah. But see, that's why I think completely ignoring it isn't helpful.
Yeah.
Because like if somebody from your past is trying to talk to you and you're not saying nothing, they may think, oh, well, she just kicked me down the road. But if you say, nah, I'm not interested in this.
Right.
Like the way you're coming at me is not cool. You need to stop it. That sends a totally different tone.
Or I'm not
just ignore the DMs all day.
Yeah. Like or I'm not interested in whatever it is that you're offering.
Right.
You know, I'm happily married.
Yeah. I'm
whatever.
Cool.
I'm good.
I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah.
But no, thank you. Right. Yeah. And then so the second half of it, which was a situation coming up from the past, something happened in the past, and you keep bringing it up
in arguments.
Yep. So in that way, in that situation, my first thing that I would do is I would allow the space for the conversation to happen because maybe we didn't find a resolution. Maybe the reasons come back up is because we never actually resolved it. So I would create space for us to have a conversation using active listening, using effective communication, and hear you out. I'm going to create the space for you to feel as heard as you need to feel. Yo, you did da 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 da. It hurt me. Da 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 da. I acknowledge that I did that to you. I'm sorry that I did that to you. I would never do that to you again. And I realized how I made you feel when I did it.
Right.
Make use of the 4 parts of a proper apology, right? Which we will be doing in a future session. Make use of the 4 parts of a proper apology and then act on it. And then if I do that, we shouldn't have to talk about it again.
Right.
Because if it comes back up, I'm going to say, hey, babe, I hear you. We've discussed this and I've showed up change behavior. I don't know what else I can do.
Right.
And that would be the healthy way that I would deal with that. You, thoughts?
I agree. I would even add on, if I guess this is something that you've done all of those things, you've kind of gone through each one of those steps and it's still happening, that you do have a conversation to figure out, is there something that I'm not doing that can keep us from going through the situation again? Yeah. Is there something I'm not addressing or we haven't addressed, that, is the cause for this to continue to keep coming up in conversation? Yeah. And then that way, like you said, you can kind of figure out how to dead it in that relationship with you and the person that you're with, so y'all can move forward.
For sure.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any additional tips for the person who asked that question, make sure you put it in the comment section. Give us your thoughts. This has been really dope, man. Tonight's topic was definitely one that was a little heavier than we're used to, dealing
Yeah.
with. But I think we did a good job of dealing with it and not, sort of losing the couth that we have.
Yes.
And thanks to everybody out there for watching. We really appreciate you guys. Again, make sure you join the community. We definitely would love to have you guys at Pursuit of Forever, the community. We have great things coming. But with that being said, let's wrap this thing up, B. That's our time for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in and sharing your thoughts and opinions.
Be sure to tune in next time where we will discuss all things love, marriage, parenting, and much more.
If you have questions or comments about this week's broadcast or something you'd like for us to discuss, please email us at pursuitofforever@gmail.com.
In the meantime, follow us on Facebook and Instagram under Pursuit of Forever, and on X, which we will be deleting soon, at Pursuit of 4, the number 4, ever.
Yeah. The Pursuit of Forever Date Night playlist is now available on Apple Music and Spotify. Check it out. Let us know your favorite songs.
Yeah.
Stay tuned and let us know how we're doing, because we're always adding to it.
Absolutely. And if you guys also have any songs you want to add, share those with us as well. Make sure that you guys are also looking for special announcements regarding this year's couple retreat and workshops.
Yeah.
You guys want to get in while you can.
Right. And in closing, always remember,
Forever is worth the work.
See y'all next time.
See you guys.
2
Thank you for
weeks.
your likes, your shares, and your comments. We appreciate you guys.